if if it's going to work this time. Edit the video. No, don't do that. Okay, save. Okay, try again. Type show link to drop link. Okay, so let's see if this has any. Let's see if this is going to work. So let's see. I've got that one. I've got that one. Let's see if we can get. Okay, so what do we got here? Do we have, let's just turn this over here while we're thinking. Okay, that's good, 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 good. Now, let's minimize that. And so we're going to edit. We're going to edit the shrimp salad. I ended up making shrimp salad because I had a bag of shrimp and of cooked shrimp, and I wanted to use them up. And so we started at 7:20, I guess, the second time around. I'm just going to put a note in here. Started. Where's it show me how many minutes I've run? 3 minutes and 48, and it's now 7. So take off 4. 7:21. Started again. 7:21. Okay, so let's see if we get anybody back. And while we're waiting for while we're waiting for people, let's aim this at the computer. Turn it around a little bit. There we are. And see what we're doing here. See what we're doing here. So we're going to something on. So we'll let it run till 9:30. It'll be 2 hours. Let's see what we've got here. Oh, hey, Susan Mocha, thank you for coming back. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. The the whole thing fell asleep or fell apart or lost interest. I don't know what its problem was. And is that going to sit there? It's pumping a little bit. The focus is an issue. But it it woke up. This is a cute little, let's put it up here. Cute little life buoy from the marina down there. They they cleaned up the rope from the neighboring boat that had got wrapped around the 7 people. So yeah, please come watch. Like the live, say hello. And so there was a rope here that was wrapped around the top of the mast between 2 boats. And if they tried to move the boats with that rope, it would have broken off all of the wind instruments. Let's see what we can do here. We zoom in here. Yeah, so here, it was wrapped around here, and went over to the other boat. And if they pulled on one boat, then the other boat pulled on my neighbor's boat, then it would have pulled my boat over and would have broken off that thing. And that thing is very expensive because it's old. It's 20 years old, and they don't make that anymore. So you have to buy the new version of the thing, but then you have to buy a bunch of adapters that make the new instruments talk to the old navigation system. So they did that. That was wonderful and appreciated by me. I haven't yet talked to the guy with the other boat. I guess we'll eventually find out what his story is. Anyway, so now we've got some visitors. So let's start this edit. We're going to do edit this video, which is shrimp salad. And where are we here? Shrimp salad. There we are. Shrimp salad. And this is the footage. I wanted to do it because I wanted to use up the shrimp, and I wanted to have a few more salad recipes. Now today I'm looking at it and I realized I did a salad in October of last year, a shrimp salad, but it was a shrimp and surimi, fake crab, imitation crab. So this one is just shrimp, and I added a couple other ingredients, which I didn't the previous time. I added some mustard. I'm not a great fan of mustard, but it added a nice little taste that I'm quite happy to have done that. Now, the problem with shrimp salad is it's kind of boring looking, right? Yeah, let's stop it here. So that's shrimp salad. So what do you see? I mean, the shrimp are a little bit pink. They're not pink enough, so you're going to have to deal with that from the point of view of the video, so that they look super advertising. Yeah, like the live. Drop in, say hello, leave a comment. Yeah, even subscribe if you got the time. So this is shrimp with some veggies and some mayo, and there's a little bit of mustard. So it's a very simple recipe, but I wanted to do that, and partly because I want to have more salads, so that my cookbook has a whole section for salads. I'm going to have to think of what other salads I want to do. And there is a Middle Eastern salad called fattoush, I believe. It's tomatoes and parsley. I enjoyed it several places when I was taking pictures for Uber Eats. And one of the chefs explained how it works. And I guess I'll look up a bunch of recipes and see what's involved. But so that salad was quite good. So let's just bring this over here and see if I can find that salad. If I look in, where do I have my food photography? Food photography. Let's see here. maybe here. Shutterstock. Salad. Ethiopian, romaine lettuce, salad bar. How come I don't? What's fattoush? Fattoush salad. Let's just go over here and private window. Let's see. Fattoush. Fattoush. Okay, so that's not what I was thinking of. The one I was thinking of was all tomato and not fattoush. So what's the other? How about middle Persian tomato salad? Persian tomato salad. Let's see what we've got here. Shirazi, no, it's not Shirazi. It's I don't know what it is anymore. Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up and see what that is that I took a picture of, because I remember having the leftovers and it tasted quite good, and seemed pretty easy to make. Okay, so let's get on with editing this mess and see what we've got here. And we've got the captain talking about the making of it. I can't remember. I recorded it twice. Was I recorded twice?
With the tang of lemon. And I wanted to make a salad.
Why did I record this twice? So I'm going to assume that the second time I recorded it is better than the first time. So let's get rid of that guy. And we'll come back to him. So this salad is what? So we go through the order that I made it. Hello, wake up there, computer. Mayo. This is a little weird because the mayo didn't want to come out of the jar, so it's kind of gross. I'm gonna have to come back with clean that up a little bit. So we got some mayo. So now we're gonna cut up some celery, and we're gonna put that in. And we're gonna cut up some green onion, and we're gonna put that in. And we're gonna cut up some red onion. And I only had a little piece of red onion, so it's really just the corner of it, but it was enough because it's only for half a pound of shrimp, so it's pretty good from that perspective. Let's just make sure we have sound. Yeah, we have sound. And then we're doing what? Mix. We're gonna put in some Dijon mustard. I was gonna use just Kraft yellow mustard. Hey, Marijuana Marianne, thank you for coming by. Yeah, I saw your message earlier. Thanks for coming by. Really appreciate the support. I actually haven't been able to listen to your Radio Free Europe static in the last couple of days. I'm gonna have to go there. Okay, so mustard. I was gonna put in yellow Kraft mustard because if I'm looking at simple cooking on a boat, I'm not likely to have Dijon mustard in the glass jar, but I am likely to have yellow Kraft mustard because it's good on a lot of other things. Now, Dijon mustard is good on a lot of other things as well, but we're not that floity-toity trillionaires, right? Okay, so we're mixing that up. Mix. Gonna cut up some lemon, and there's our shrimps. So we're gonna put some shrimps, cut them in small pieces. As I say, last time I made this, I also put in crab, and I hadn't realized that I had made it so recently. But it's cooked. I enjoyed it, and let's. So where am I? Am I squishing in the whole half a lemon here somewhere? I thought I was. No, where? Okay, so I'm not squishing in a whole half a lemon. And then I'm cutting up a little bit of parsley, which was a mistake because I didn't like the taste afterwards, but it's good for decoration. Garnishing it, put it on a plate, put it on little bread pieces of French bread, and I quite enjoyed it. I was surprised about the taste of the mustard. It's only a tablespoon. Tablespoon? Maybe not even a tablespoon. But it ended up tasting really good. So I don't want to start with mayo because it's kind of boring. So let's start with cutting up the celery. Emails are coming in thick and fast. Hey, Izzy Reels Fishing. 2 Izzy Reels. Because your site is Izzy Reels. Yeah. Thank you for coming by. Yeah, it was pretty good. I wanted to use up a half a pound of shrimp that I had left over from another recipe, and this is what I ended up with. This is what I ended up with. It ended up tasting pretty good. Okay, so let's move this celery to the beginning so that we've got something more interesting than squirting mayo out of a jar. And how long is this? It's a minute of cutting up celery. We're not going to do a minute of celery. Okay, so we're going to put the celery on the table. Let's take off the first 8 frames so that we don't have that dead spot in sound. Okay, so let's come here and let's edit controls. Because this is recorded in 4K, but the video is only HD, so that's really 2K. I've got a lot of room to zoom in and out. And oops, what's going on here? Okay, so I don't really want that. Where's the empty? Okay, so that's good enough there. That's 3 seconds of getting the celery ready. So we can zoom out. So let's zoom way out and see. Oh, my phone is in this stupid shot. I can't believe that. Why is my phone in the shot? That's okay. Is the phone in the shot here too? Yeah. Darn it, didn't get rid of the phone. Okay. Well, this is not going to be zoomed in that much because we really want to see the cutting action, but we don't want a whole minute of cutting action. And in all my planning, it's always to basically have action all the time. You know, in real life, yeah, you got to spend time looking at a pot cooking and bubbling, and that cooking and bubbling time gives you a clue as to how long it's going to be cooked or fried. But I don't think it's not live. It's a pre-recorded show. So okay, so we're gonna slice it there. Slice, 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 slice. Okay, so that's where we're gonna cut it off. 29 seconds. How fast? Okay, we're gonna make it faster. Keep saying I awful at cutting. Let's go to 140%. That's good. Okay, let's bring that together. So basically we're coming from putting that down. Oh, we don't need that empty space. Where's the empty space? Okay, we don't need that. So that's down to 2 seconds. So 2 seconds is a bit too short. So can we use somewhere here? Yeah, we got some green stuff flopping around. Let's make it smaller, make it bigger. Okay, so that's our cutting of the celery, blah, 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 blah. Now, then we're going to put the celery, we've got the celery sitting there. So in real life, I put the mayo in the jar first. So here, let's see. So here, again, let's zoom out a little bit. Cell phone is still on the stupid shot. What's going on here? I wasn't paying attention. I know I was using it at one point to time something. Okay, so we're only going to keep okay, stop there. How long is this? This is 6 seconds. 6 seconds is okay. And then we're going to put that into the bowl. Nope, okay, so that's there. And now we're going to jump to there. So let's take out just a second so that there's not so much a jump between. That's perfect. Okay, it's stuck in the spoon. We don't need to show that because that's kind of boring. Okay, so we're cutting celery, cut. What's this here? And now we're going to put the celery in the bowl. Center that. Okay, so how many seconds we got? In the end, I would need at least like a five-minute video. So I don't want to make it too concise. Mix. Okay, there's the end of the mixing. I got to think of how much I want to talk about this. Okay, so we're going to start a little further up so we can see the board, see being scraped in. Okay, I moved it by hand, so that's okay. So here, we're going to change the position of it. And we're going to come over here. And we're going to go down and over a bit, right? So here, it's going to come here. Then we're going to mix it. That's nice. Good enough. That's, oh no, okay. 17 seconds of mixing is okay. Let's go further. That's nice, okay. So now, we're at, okay, now we're gonna cut up some green onion. Again, how long do we have for cutting green onion? 36 seconds. That's a little bit too long. Okay, so we don't really want to show the cutting off the bad part. We don't need that. That's boring. And we're going to cut. And we're going to leave it zoomed in. Okay, so what do we got here? 25 seconds. So 25 seconds, let's just bring it down a little bit. Not bad. Is it probably? Let's speed it up. 120%. So we're now down to 20 seconds. 21 seconds. So 21 seconds isn't bad. It's a boring recipe. Sorry, what can I say? And now we're going to put that in. Let's bring it down. Move it over just a hair. We don't have my stupid cell phone in the picture anywhere. Okay, we finished mixing. Now, what are we doing? What are we doing? So we spent 25 minutes. We're going to cut up some red onion. Take off the first 8 seconds because there's no sound. Cut, 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 cut. Close enough. 32 seconds. Speed it up. Speed and duration 130. Does that look good? That doesn't look bad at all. It's centered it a bit. I want to say something about getting the onion in nice small pieces, because I don't want to really be chewing on big chunks of onion. I know I buy fish salads, Neptune salads, and so on from the grocery store here. One time I got a huge chunk of red onion, and I need to pick it out. Okay, so let's save this while we're here, and let's now what are we doing? We're going to add that to the. Now here, it almost looks like I forgot to record part of this, right? Let's zoom out a little bit. No, I'm taking that. How much more smaller can I get? 50%. 51%. Okay, so here, the stupid cell phone in the picture? No. Okay, mix, 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 mix. So we're up to 2 minutes and 56 seconds. Take out a minute, so minute and a half. So it's going to be a pretty short movie. Now we're cutting up an onion. Oh, there's where we're putting in the half of a lemon of juice. Okay, cut that open. Let's take out my 8 seconds of 8 frames of missing sound here. Okay, how long is this? 42 seconds. So that's a little bit too long, right? So let's start by moving this into the center of the screen. I'm not sure why that moved to the side. Cut that, okay. Take that out. Okay, so that's nicely centered. Now here, okay, so I wondered myself picking up the lemon. Okay, so let's start here. Let's zoom out so I can see what we're doing. No cell phone in the picture. Okay, so what are we doing here? So okay, I'm taking that, squeezing that lemon. Okay, what's going on here? Squeeze the lemon, squeeze, mix, 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 mix. Okay, that's very nice. So how long is this lemon episode? 29 seconds. That's a bit on the long side. Let's see. Pinterest is trying to get me excited here. Okay, so now I've got some Dijon mustard. Let's zoom out. That way we end up with the jar of mustard. I'm opening it. I'm going to grab a spoonful. So how big a spoon is that? 1 teaspoon. Is it a teaspoon? Let's zoom in on this. One teaspoon. But remember that for the recipe. I may have written that down as I was going along. I may have written it down and then changed my mind as I was going. I may have wanted to put more. Cut that there. Okay. Okay, didn't want to come out of the spoon because I had a nice plastic spoon that was easy to get the food out of, and I broke it. Okay, let's take that a second there. So now what's happening here, taking it out. That's good. Okay, I don't need to see my hand going for the lid. That's kind of boring. Okay, we'll put the spoon aside. And then okay, so for this half, we'll move it over and move it down so we can see what we're doing here. So here we're doing the mustard. Now we're moving the bowl. And then here we want to do the same thing. Move it over a bit more. I don't think it's going to be ever perfectly lined up. And there we go. There we go. So now, I'm just going to go over the other screen and look at the analytics for this this live. Okay, so we'll just keep that to the side for now. Okay, so here we're mixing that and we're going to taste it. Again, take out the first 8 frames. Hello, there we are. Now, what's this all about? I feel that showing me tasting it is an important part of it. Tasting it, yeah, it's good. And we'll leave that as long as it takes me to say it's good. We'll leave it that way for now. How many seconds is that? That's 10 seconds. It might be a little bit on the long side to say it's good. Okay, so now we're cutting up the rest of that. Make it bigger again. Over there, you. These were imperfect lemons. There's a couple little spots on them because I should have cut those out beforehand. Okay, that's that. And now we're going to Let's see how far we can get here. 51%. Okay, so what we're doing here is we are taking the tails off the shrimp. I didn't want to show the whole pound of shrimp being detailed because that's a little bit of waste of time, 18 seconds. We'll leave that for now. Once we're talking, I can decide if I want to make it shorter or not. Okay, so what am I doing now? Now I'm cutting up the shrimp. Cut, 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 cut. I think I said, or thinking to myself, I'm going to say we're going to save a few for garnish. And then we're going to add the shrimp. Add the shrimp. And start mixing them up. That's the end of that. Take out the first 8 frames. There we are. That's good. And that's that. So now, what did we do next? We're going to mix it a little bit more. Okay, that was kind of boring. Oops. Pinterest, the beautiful life is waiting for me. Go away. Okay, that's a nice bowl. And we're going to serve it out. And let's just get a small sip of water here. And let's see what we're doing. So here, we're cutting up a little bit of parsley. Yeah, so I got to do the parsley because okay, we only need a few seconds of parsley cutting. 4 seconds is plenty. Long enough to say we'll chop up some parsley for garnish and put that on the garnish on. Oops, a little bit too high. I like this little fish plate that I had. I bought that as a prop for food photography, and it looks good in this instance with seafood salad, right? Okay, so this is too long, and I think what I'm going to do, so you can be cut off of the garnish some shrimps that we saved from before. There we are. And so now serve it with bread. This is a nice shot for the intro. Let's remove the audio. You're gone. And hey, people, come on in, like the live. Say something. I'll come and watch your shows. Okay, so this, we need 4 seconds for the intro. How many seconds is that? 6 seconds. So let's just get this all the way to the beginning to start, get it out of the way. So our intro is going to be that, and the captain talking. And then what are we doing here? So here, we're serving it out on onto those pieces of bread that we had there. So again, I don't know how much I'm going to talk about that, but they were talking, okay. Did I get a shot of me biting into it? No, that's what it is. Okay, let's position it up a little. Oh, that's not going to do any good. Because we got the bottom of the screen. Let's set that, also make it bigger. Okay, so nicely fills that. Unfortunately, it's out of focus. That's not good. Let's add some sharpness to it. I don't play around a lot of sharpness on Sharp Mask. Let's try that and see if we like that. Where is my unsharp mask? Okay, so here we're going to start okay, that's good. So that's a little bit too sharp, but it'll do. Okay, so now we got the captain. Let's bring this back up. Oop, hello. Didn't mean to move it. Okay, so the captain, my captain. What's the story on my captain?
I wanted to make a salad that combines the sweet taste of shrimp with the tang of lemon and the crunch of celery in mayonnaise. I had some peeled cooked shrimp. Let's see how it turns out. Let's cook. That was wonderful. That was wonderful. I wanted to make a salad that combines the sweet taste.
The hat's not in the middle.
I wanted to make a salad that combines the sweet taste of lemon. I wanted to make a salad that combines the sweet taste of shrimp with the tang of some lemon and the crunch of celery and mayonnaise. I had some peeled cooked shrimp. Let's see how it turns out. Let's cook.
I'm not sure that
That was wonderful. I love that taste.
Okay, so let's take the first version of this. I already got rid of the whole first 2 versions of this. I can't remember why I kept changing my mind about it. Let's give this guy a little bit of exposure. That's nice. The hat's crooked. Can't do much about it now. So let's go back here. And let's see. Okay, so now we need to, it's a shot with green screen. We're going to use Adobe Ultra Key to take out the green. We know we need to be aggressive because it's very bright here and a little bit darker here. And we want all of the green to be picked up. So let's go here. Let's see alpha channels. That's what mask it generated. That's nice. It's all black and white. That's perfect. Okay, so that's there.
That was wonderful. I had some peeled cooked shrimp. Let's see how it turns out. Let's cook. Let's cook.
Okay, so that's the intro. Here's the extra.
That was wonderful.
Outro.
I love that.
Okay, so let's put this. This goes at the beginning. To think about that, there's no motion there. I'd like to have a bit of motion in there. And let's bring this in here. Bring the dialogue down to one level. And let's do a cross dissolve here. Cross zoom, in fact. I like the cross zooms. Okay, a little bit too over sharpened, but I think it'll work. We're not displaying it on a big screen, although you know a lot of people, half my customers seem to watch it on the TV. Not every recipe, but a bunch of them. So we're 8 minutes. 8 minutes is pretty long. So that means we can get rid of some of the duplication in here. So here. Now, usually I like having some of the preparation as the intro as well. Let's see if we're going to use some of this. So we'll make a duplicate of it. Get rid of the audio track. And all we want is a few seconds where we can see the shrimp. Okay, so there's shrimps for sure. Still got 25 seconds. We want 4 seconds. Or if we go this way, that's 3 seconds. That's a bit too short. There's 4.5. That's nice. So let's put this at the beginning.
Shrimp celery in mayonnaise. I had some peeled cooked shrimp. Let's see how it turns out.
Okay, let's move that over.
So, let's cook.
Okay, so now we're going to bring that in here. Bring that up. Where's our cross zooms? Let's do a cross zoom in here. No, here I didn't like this, right? So I want to see if I have something that's better in terms of okay, that's better. That's a little bit more motion. Not a lot of motion, but enough to... There we go. Okay, so that's good. So that's really, really good. Now, what we got to do, behind this captain, we always have the stern of the boat. And I'm going to go down, well, the boat's not going in the water for another 2 weeks. 3 weeks, right? Yeah, 3 weeks. And we'll get some new footage of that when there's not a lot of boats in the marina. So let's go bring those things. We'll just steal them from the previous version, the previous video. Open recent, shrimp salad, omelet. So I just did the omelet video without doing a live edit because I wanted to get it done. But let's see what we've got here. So we've got all of that stuff at the end. And then we're going to add this, 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 and this, and this. Control C, copy it from that project, close this project, and bring it in at the end of this. And then I'm just going to go check something. What did we get here? Did we get it all? We got it all. That's fantastic. Okay. And here, let's just bring it closer so we can see what we're doing. Save this. And I'm going to be right back. Let's go check something. Let's yeah, we'll leave the captain on the screen. Okay, we're back. We're back. Back. So let's just get rid of that and come back in here. And what am I looking for? Okay, so I want to move this around, right? So this has to go to the beginning. Oh, that's wrong. Okay, let's cook goes here. Where's the captain? How long is this? 2 seconds. Okay, let's move this back forward. Okay, that's good. And it's a salad. Let's just call this shrimp salad. I'm going to call it Louisiana shrimp salad. I don't know what a Louisiana shrimp salad is, but I want to work around that. So let's go Louisiana, L-O-U, not L-U-O, Louisiana shrimp salad. That's what we're going to call this recipe. And we're going to bring this. Hello, where is this thing here? Yeah, that's the back of the boat. And stick it under the captain. Okay, so why is this here? Something is wrong with this cross zoom. $30. I see. Okay, so it's upset because the footage isn't exactly aligned, but it'll do. Okay, so that's that. Now, what are we up to? 56 minutes. Okay, so now we didn't get the little piece of bring him under there. I'll put this over here somewhere. Get it out of the way for now. Okay, so here we are. Let's get rid of this cross dissolve here. And that doesn't change. Ingredients. So these are not the right ingredients. Let's just start here. ½ pound cooked, cleaned shrimp. Cooked, cleaned shrimp. Two stalks celery. Two stalks celery. 2 stalks green onion. What else do we put in here? Green onion. 1/4 red onion. Now we didn't even use a whole quarter, but let's go for a quarter here. 1/2 cup mayo. 1 teaspoon mustard. 1/2 lemon or juice. for garnish. Okay, so that's basically the ingredients. We'll verify that later that they're right. Let's cook and we do that, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so this is long. This is 8 minutes, 39 seconds. I didn't expect it to be that long, to be honest. So when you look at the long phrases, so here, you get 1 minute and 13 seconds cutting up shrimp. I'm not going to do that. So we're peeling the shrimp, taking off the tails. Let's just make it shorter, 52 seconds, and let's speed it up, 130. Does it look weird? Okay, that's better. What else is long here? So here, cutting up the celery is long, mixing up that, putting the celery in is kind of long. What's this? Squeezing the lemon. Okay, so when I do the dialogue, I'm going to watch it and I'll see where else I want to shorten it off. So that's not bad. I like that. I like what we've done here. Let's take this guy and stick him in the middle here somewhere. Put it where there's repetitive action like that.
Please like, comment, and
Okay, so this is too long too. That's 28 seconds for chopping of onion. And we can probably live with that. We can probably live with that. So looks a little dark. We may have to fix the color. See, my hand is light, but the board isn't very light. Okay, so that's it. So now we've done the basic edit for this thing. So what I want to do is I'm going to put this aside. We're just going to minimize it, get it out of our way. And we're going to put this out of our way. And we're going to open up a folder of Gemini Music. Now, Gemini Music, Gemini's, in the past I had bought all kinds of music for productions. Hey, Rams National, thank you for coming by. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Really appreciate it. Not a big crowd, but everybody's welcome. So this is Google's AI music generator, and the advantage of that is that it will generate royalty-free music, copyright-free music. Now, I believe people that are monetized might have a thing called AI music in their studio. I don't have that. So this is actually pretty good, right? So let's listen to one of these very quickly. Harbor Dawn with flute. Okay, a little bit too boring. But I was looking at accordion. So I had recorded some accordion from them, and I liked this one here. I can't remember where. So they're seafaring jigs, and what I want to do is okay. So this is very nautical, very coastal, Canadian coastal, more than Louisiana. But I'm going to actually zoom over to to Gemini and try while we're live. Sometimes it doesn't work, and this could be a complete waste of time. To create a few bits of music that are Louisiana style. Let's go to Google Gemini, and we want Gemini 3. Sign in. I'm signed in already, so let's go here. Turn Gemini. So what we're going to do is we're going to create music, and I'm going to describe my track. I'm going to say Louisiana style accordion and guitar. Let's go slide guitar, right? So, and slide guitar. I'm not sure if hey, Eclectic Butterfly. Love to see you. Love to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Welcome aboard. Let's give you a wrench. Network with the few people that we do have on board, and we'll see you again, and I will drop by you tomorrow. Okay, Louisiana style accordion and slide guitar. C, F, G7 chords with intro and outro, no vocals. Because they try to sneak in a little bit of vocal from time to time. And Swampy, yeah, so Swampy is a good resilience. Let's just go for it. ZFG7. I'm going to say, well, I'll save it later. Let's see what this is, what they give us. Now, question becomes, what is Louisiana maritime music? And I don't know that. I did spend a bit of time snooping around the internet, and I didn't see anything that made me feel that this was what we're looking for. So let's see what we're doing. What I'm doing, Eclectic Butterfly, is we just edited a video on what I'm calling Louisiana shrimp salad. Louisiana has all kinds of shrimp, and I want a bit of background music behind my description of what I'm cooking. So I've asked Google Gemini to generate me some AI music because it's copyright free and free. And we're going to have a listen to see if we like what it sounds like. A little bit faster than I was hoping for. Okay, a little bit faster than I was hoping for. I'm going to download it and save it anyway. And I'm going to, where's my Gemini music, and this is going to be in a folder called Louisiana. New folder, Louisiana. And it's called Sunday in Lafayette. So that's a little bit too partyish, I think. So Gemini, I give it the name always of where my music came from. So if I ever have to try to understand what's going on, CFG. And I'm going to save the song, and I'm going to Gemini, Louisiana, and I'm also going to save the prompt. Even if you run the same prompt a second time, it's not going to give you the same sound. It's not that sophisticated an implementation, but I'm going to save the prompt anyway, because then I can at least remember what I was doing here. Okay, so now we're going to save that. That's good. Now what I'm going to do here is go back to Gemini and change this, and I'm going to do vocals. I'm going to do 120 beats per minute, and let's just see what that sounds like. So Gemini is thinking. Louisiana style accordion and slide guitar. So maybe we'll take a shot without the accordion and put in a harmonica. So what we'll do while we're thinking, or just talk to the head for a minute. Okay, here's your Louisiana style instrumental track at 120 beats per minute, featuring the classic accordion and slide guitar sound, C, F, and G. Let's see what it sounds like. Riverbank two-step. Bit country, but I could live with this. I like it. I like it. So let's save this, and then what we're going to do is just let it run this 3 times, and it'll be slightly different sounds, slightly different compositions in the same key and the same beats per minute. And it does seem to keep the instrumental stylings the same if you just rerun the same prompt. Audio track only. It's a Riverbank two-step. Gemini CFG 120 beats per minute. And again, we're going to save this prompt. New text document. And I'm going to save the prompt so we can come back to it later. And we're going to make 3 versions of it. And we're going to do that just by letting it try again. So Electric Butterfly says Louisiana would be the blues. That sounds country. It did sound rather country-ish. So I think they give me like 8 generations. So I'll change that. We'll see what the next one sounds like, and then maybe we'll tell it in a blues style. I like what you're saying. In the end, I know nothing about music. I can barely play guitar and piano. That's not totally true, but let's see. Still countryish. Let's save it anyway. But I'm going to. I like what you said there. Let's play with throw the word blues into the prompt. Gemini C, F, and G 120 BPM. And then of course you can start playing with different chord progressions. I don't know if I want to work that hard. Okay, we save that. That's new text And oops, where do we go? Boots on the kitchen floor. This is the one that, okay, so this one is the same. I'm going to copy what Gemini is, the chatbot is telling me. Some of what it talks about makes no sense at all. And at the bottom of the screen it says, Gemini is AI and can make mistakes. Yeah, some of it is, there's some weird stuff. But I'm going to do that, and we'll save that prompt. And so let's change the prompt to be Louisiana Blues. Or should I go New Orleans Blues? Let's leave Louisiana Blues style. Should I leave the accordion or stick with accordion and slide guitar? Let's leave accordion and slide guitar. Let's see what it has to say. I know today it's cooperating. Very often when I play with this, I say no vocals, because the vocals don't usually make sense in relation to the video. My videos are about cooking, and I got one about riding the fence line, and I got one about the salty air, and they don't make a lot of sense in terms of what I'm trying to do, and I don't want to spend the time to create a prompt that comes around, overcomes that, partly because you don't get enough generations without actually paying for Gemini. And until YouTube is paying me, I'm not paying them. So let's see what this sounds like. I like it. Oh yeah, I like that. Eclectic idea. That was a good idea. Let's just stop this so that it doesn't override us. And we're going to let it just run it again and do a second version of it. Gemini. And I put the basic chord progression in here, 120 BPM, so that I can see what compositions are similar and string a couple of them together. But what I'm going to do is we're going to bring this, and I think we're going to use the blues one. I like it, into the video editing program Premiere, and stretch it out to fill the space and see what Premiere does in terms of making it a good background track. So let's just save this prompt. Same prompt. Okay, go away, Gemini. Go away, Gemini. Copy this. V1. And let's just run it again and see what it sounds like the second time around. Let's see what it sounds like the second time around. Yeah, sax, we had a little bit of a trumpet in there. Good suggestions. Good suggestions. I've got a few tracks that are more jazzy. Let's see. Still pretty countryish. Let's save it. Gemini. CFG 120 BPM V2. nice outro. I like it. Sometimes you don't get a good outro, and sometimes the lyrics make no sense. I once asked it to give me lyrics about sand on a beach, and I had visions of any one of the love songs with on the beach and sand and stuff like that, and it gave me lyrics around crushed silicone because sand is crushed silicone, right? But it made no sense as a song. No sense as a song. Okay, so let's just save this prompt. And what I'm going to do, we're going to put Gemini aside. I can't immediately think of what else I want to do with Gemini. Okay, let's give it one more try. They haven't cut us off yet. I think we might get 2 more songs out of it. Blues style saxophone. Let's see what it does. We're here now. Let's see what it does. I played with a couple other AI music generators, and I played with a bunch of free music, royalty free. The problem with some of them is that the Pexels, for instance, was one that had that. And I'm looking at some of this music and saying, that sounds pretty good. And then I realize it's Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah. That's not royalty free. I mean, it can be free if somebody played it on their piano, but if you stick that up on YouTube, then I'm definitely going to get a copyright strike because the tune to Hallelujah is not free. Ooh, oh, I love this. I love this. Very slow. Let's see if we can get one more. This is not 120 beats per minute. CFG V11. Okay, let's save that, and let's save the prompt. New text. Where's the prompt? Here's the prompt. And then you go, so what does it say? Compose Louisiana blues tracks for you featuring the sax and slide guitar over CFNG at 120 beats per minute. It's not 120 beats per minute. It's closer to 60 or 80. But again, beggars can't be choosers. We'll take it all and then choose what works the best. But I like, eclectic. You're pushing me in this direction. I like that. Let's see if we ask it to do it one more time. Let's see, first of all, if it will do it. Crossing my fingers. Crossing fingers. It hasn't cut us off yet, so I guess we're getting one more generation out of it. And then we're going to use these last 2 tracks in this video and see if it sounds good, if it evokes Southern shrimp salad. I have to admit, I've never been to Louisiana, never had Louisiana shrimp salad. I've had Florida shrimp salads of various kinds. Let's see. Good. So that's the same general feel as the previous one, which it'll do. If you tried to re-enter this tomorrow, you'd get something radically different. But if it seems to be, if you just let it keep going, running the same prompt over and over, CFG V12. then you're going to get some compositions that sound that can work together. And let's go here. Okay, so that's the same prompt as before. V1. Okay, so having said all of that, we're going to say goodbye to say goodbye to Google here. And let's bring back our video edit, and we're going to bring both of these tracks that we just created. 3, 1, 2. Let's put that here. And 3, 1, 2. Let's put that here. Did we get an intro? Oh yeah, there's no intro. There's no intro outro. It's just cut off. Okay, well that kind of sucks. We asked for an intro and an outro, and we got no intro, no outro. Can we steal an outro from one of the other ones that they did? So let's do this one and see. This has an outro. So what we'll do is we'll steal the outro. Does it have an intro? There's no intro. Let's steal the outro. Okay, so what we want to do is listen to these two for a second. Pretty slow. Okay, I like this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick it at the beginning. Now, this is not 100% going to work properly. Let's just take this captain, move him down. Okay, and if I move the camera a little bit, then we can get more of this activity here. And what we're going to do, so basically this would be the thing, then the captain talking, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to do the very simple thing that Premiere does for me, is it will stretch it out. They call it remixing. And they do a reasonably decent job of, did it have a remix? Yep. Usually you see a little thing there. Where is this? Let's stretch it out to about here. That's not bad. I don't mind that at all. Okay, it's a little bit loud. So let's just do this now because I'm going to forget later on, and use this to bring it down 6 decibels. What's that? That's 8 decibels. Okay, we'll bring it down 8 decibels. And because we don't want to overpower. Now here, okay, so here we've got, oh, that's not it, this one. Let's get rid of that guy. Where is this outro that we saved ourselves? So here, there's an outro. So all of my videos have a seagull at the end. This is twice as fast. Okay, let's do something. First of all, slow it down. It may not work. It may not work. Audio effects. And there's one for time and pitch. I don't want to shift the pitch. I want to stretch it out. I want to slow it down. Now, let's put it in there and see what that does. It's too slow. Okay, the pitch shifter is not going to do what we wanted it to do. You're gone. Okay, what time have we got here? We're into 90 minutes. Let's see. Now here, okay, so that's there. And what we want now here is to stretch this out to here if it will stretch. Won't stretch. Okay. Okay, so that's louder. Okay, what if I bring this in here? This has got like a few seconds of dead air at the end here. Bring that together. Okay, what about just an ordinary cross dissolve? Where are you, my constant gain? Let's do that. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. Okay, and then what's going to happen here is we're going to take this. Okay, so each segment is 254. 2, so it's only 8 seconds long. Okay, I don't really like that. Sometimes it gets too complicated and makes the segments too short. So let's play with its customization here. Let's make it fewer segments. So now, just doing that, made each, so there's a segment starting there. 6:35 ends at, it's still only 8 seconds. Six, 2:15 and 2:43. What? 2:43. 2:16. So that's a long segment. Okay, so let's see if we can bring our outro back on here. Graph that on, put a cross dissolve in there, save this mess. And then what's going to happen, we're going to apply ducking. So ducking makes the music softer when somebody's talking. for me, I always did 12 decibels, generate keyframes. So what it did here is it went down and up, right? So now what's going to happen, so this is the intro. The intro is good.
I wanted to make a salad that combines the sweet taste of shrimp with the tang of lemon and the crunch of celery in mayonnaise. I had some peeled cooked shrimp. Let's see how it turns out. Let's cook.
So it does that automatically. I'll make it lowering it behind where the guy's talking. She's going to have dialogue behind the whole thing, talking about how I'm planning my recipe and why I'm using all the ingredients and all of those things. So that really is the end of what I wanted to do with this. It's a little bit too long. So here we've got how many seconds of cutting? 21 seconds of cutting up onion. And I'm not convinced that that is, that's camera zoomed out as far as it's going to be, is going to keep people's attention. So I'm going to have to make some of this shorter. It's 8 minutes now. If we end up with 5 minutes, I think that will keep people's attention a little bit. So, so that's as far as we're going to go with this. Maybe what we'll do is we've got a bit of time. It's only 9 o'clock, and I've got until quarter after before I have to go do something else. So maybe we'll put this aside and get on with our next recipe. I'm going to just very quickly. No, I don't need to do that. I was going to generate a copy of this, but I don't. Without the dialogue in there, it's hard to make any sense out of it. So File, close the project, and let's look at. Okay, our friend Gemini. We don't care about our friend Gemini. We want, where's our next recipe? And next recipe to work on is shrimp salad. Let's do aglio and olio. So this is view extra large icons. So this is an Italian recipe. I have no Italian in me, but I've read about it and researched it and went off in a direction that I was quite happy with. It's pasta. The aglio is garlic. The olio is olive oil. And I've added sun-dried tomatoes to it. And it ended up, it ended up pretty good. So let's start the edit of that while we have some time to do that. So let's create a new project. I'm going to just steal this here so I don't have to type. Aglio and olio. Let's create a new project. That's not the right name. Here's the right name. Let's create this. And we'll start on this. I'm not going to go back to Gemini because I want to look for Italian sounding music. And I did end up with a very nice string section, string band, string quartet that sounded very Italian restauranty, and I was happy with that. And I used it in another recipe that just escaped me at this moment. The other recipe was It was Italian chicken cacciatore. So the chicken cacciatore ended up with a very soft, warm sound that I was quite happy with. It might have been a little bit of accordion in it as well. And I could see myself in an Italian restaurant eating way too much garlic. And it worked out pretty well. So let's take this, all of these clips and see what, yeah, thanks, Sir Eclectic. Yeah, I've been using that dish over too many times. I think I bought it for food photography, and I haven't replaced it. And I see a lot of food in a nice dark, flattish dish. And I haven't found anywhere where I can get that look. I want it in melamine, not ceramic, because ceramic is too much effort to manage. So here, the secret behind all of my video is that everything's recorded in 4K, but the video is in 2K HD. So that means I can zoom out 50% and get a much wider view without actually moving the camera. So we'll keep existing settings. And let's see what we've got here. So here we are, we're cutting up some sun-dried tomatoes. These are the dried sun-dried tomatoes, not the sun-dried tomatoes in olive oil, because the sun-dried tomatoes in olive oil are in a jar, and if I've got this on the boat, I want food that glass breaks, and the plastic bag doesn't break, and it seems to last just as long. The downside is you have to rehydrate it, so put it in some water, and where are you? So it gets pretty ugly looking, but it's a nice texture and it's a nice taste. So I was quite happy with that. So what is in this recipe? Well, there's sun-dried tomatoes, garlic. I always like my garlic press, but here I've used I've cut the garlic in pieces because apparently that's the Italian way. I'm going to cut up some parsley, and I'm going to cut up my sun-dried tomatoes. Olive oil into the pan, garlic into the olive oil, a little bit of red chili flakes, apparently not traditional either, but I think they add a little bit of heat. Now, I have had aglio and olio in a restaurant without any of this stuff, and I am quite happy with the plain taste of just the garlic and some Parmesan. So, okay, so there's a story behind this pasta. So this pasta comes from St. Lawrence Market is not really a farmer's market, but a fruit and vegetable meat market that has been in Toronto forever, and it's close to the waterfront, and it has a lot of interesting stuff. And one of the interesting stuff is a guy that makes pasta on site, so fresh pasta. And this pasta is called radiatore, I guess, which is Italian for radiator. And when you look at it closely, I'm going to just zoom in a little bit in the image. You see little round squiggles and a piece going through it, which is the radiator pipe. How do I know that? I asked Google AI. And it was $10 for a pound, $10 Canadian for a pound, which isn't bad. It when you consider like a pound box of dried pasta, penne or whatever is $5, so double the price, but still not bad on a per serving cost. And I was at the market. I was actually buying fish, and I walked by this thing and I said, okay, I'm going to take a picture of this because I like the texture. And then I figured, okay, if I'm taking a picture of the guy's pasta, I might as well buy some. So I bought a pound of it and used it in this dish, and I got a little bit left over. And it turned out very nice. I'd saved half of what I cooked for the next day for lunch, and I'd frozen it, but it's still the pasta had gotten soggy. It was a nice. I'm not a real fan of real al dente pasta. I like it a little bit soft, but it had gotten pretty mushy by the second day, almost twice as big. Now, if this was dried pasta, it wouldn't have blown up to the same extent. So, but I was quite happy with it. It had a very nice taste. It had a very nice texture the first time around. And this is a one-pan wonder. So everything's done in one pan. You start with one thing and keep adding stuff until it's done. So we started with the garlic, and what did we do then? Chili peppers, and then the pasta. Now the pasta isn't going to get fried because right away what we did next, we added water. I've got other recipes where I've added chicken broth and so on, but the Italian way apparently is water, so I put water, and I needed just enough water. I think I put in 2 cups of water. No, 4 cups of water. That's a 2-cup thing. 1, 2. So I think we got 4 cups of water. I'm gonna have to look at my notes. We wanted it nicely covered, and I was a little bit worried that I had too much water, because then the pasta sauce gets really soggy. But it ended up working out perfectly. Now, part of the reason it worked out perfectly is I did overcook it probably by about a minute, so it soaked up some of the water. So after a few minutes of cooking, added the sun-dried tomatoes and let that cook for a while. So they're starting to lose a little bit of shape because they're getting cooked. And the water and the olive oil are starting to emulsify a little bit and make a pasta sauce. And we're getting some starch out of the pasta. Now, normally with dried pasta, then there's a lot of starch is thrown off to thicken the sauce. I didn't know what to expect here. This is the first time ever in my life that I've made fresh pasta. I've had it when I was a kid. My mother would make pasta because that's what she did. And it was always just flat noodles. So she didn't get fancy. We didn't have a pasta machine. She just rolled out the dough and cut it in slices, and then that would be our pasta. And she made a really interesting thing. I guess I should do that here too. It was a pasta, so it was noodles and cooked plums and maybe some other fruit and sugar and so on. So the sauce was sweet, plum tasting. We'd have it at the end of the summer when there was fresh plums on the trees, or was she making prunes? I'd have to think in my head. Might have been prunes because Prunes would make a nicer sauce. So, but yeah, that's an idea. And prunes keep forever, right? A long time anyway. Okay, so we're cooking, cooking, cooking. We're tasting it. No, we're checking to see if it's done. Cooking, cooking, cooking. So here, this is 12 minutes, but some of it gets kind of boring. Okay, we're going to add in the parsley and mix that in. Probably too much parsley. We're tasting it. And see, you see the bubble? The bubbling? So it's getting nice and thick. Now I tasted it and it needed salt. Now normally I'd get the salt would come from the chicken broth and some of those things, but this had no salt-bearing ingredients of any kind. So I put in 2 half teaspoons of salt, and it ended up being a little bit too salty. Okay, what are we doing here? Parmesan. And everybody says, Parmesan, you can't use grocery store Parmesan because it's got stuff in it. Grocery store Parmesan is perfect. Makes it a bit thicker. And here we're serving it. And I saved a couple bits of parsley and to garnish it a little bit for that interesting presentation. And there it is. Yeah, so it got a little bit bigger than when it was made, and that was probably a little bit overcooked because we expect dried pasta to expand, but this had not yet shrunk in the drying, so it might have been slightly overcooked. And as I say, it tasted really good and it had a nice texture. In the first day around, but by the second day, it lost a little bit of its firmness. So that was it was a good dish. I liked it, and that'll be my posting after the shrimp salad. I'm quite happy with most of what we've got here. The previous time that I used the same dried, sun-dried tomatoes, I didn't let them soak long enough, and they were a little bit on the chewy side. So I wasn't 100% sure how that was going to work out. So here they were probably soaking for half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour, and they turned out a nice texture in the mouth, and they're easier to cut. When the dried tomato is dried, it is hard as a rock, and it worked out pretty well the way I made this, and it's very simple because it's only olive oil and garlic. I again go back to my mother. We didn't have a lot of money. My dad worked in a factory, and we also had pasta with butter and sugar. So she'd do macaronis most of the time, and once they were cooked, they'd be drained, and she'd fry them in butter, and then add sugar and it was a very nice taste. Um, uh, Very inexpensive, but I like that idea. So I think maybe we'll try that as a recipe as well to stick with the concept of simple recipes. So we're approaching the end of the time that I've allotted to this. Give another 5 minutes. And what's happening? The phone is falling asleep here. Let's give it a charge before it gives up on us. There we are. That was scary. It was down to only a 5 on the charging. But yeah, so the boat's going in the water in 3 weeks. Got to paint the rudder and the keel. Got a can of paint. Waiting for good weather. And in the next 2 weeks, it's not supposed to get above 13 Celsius. So 13 Celsius is 50-ish Fahrenheit, which is a little bit on the cold side. Just gotta look for a day when that's nice. The boat's in an area where the sun will shine on the area that it'll be working in, the rudder and the keel. So with the sun, it'll be pleasant enough, and close to the ground, there won't be that much wind that it'll make that much difference. But that's really the next let's save this, go back to the boat. Let's play this in the background. This is another Gemini music creation. Yeah, so it'll be nice to get the boat in the water and get the boat on the water. We won't go sailing for a few weeks. It is still pretty cold, and the water's even colder. But yeah, and then once the boat's in the water, then we'll be cooking on the boat, recording that. It's a little bit hard to record because there's not that much space to put a camera tripod, and so getting that to work. A few ones that I did last year worked well. A few I was not at all happy with the results of what I'd accomplished. So let's just play a bunch of these. Geminis. So finding room for the camera and the lights to do a decent job. Do a decent job is important, because I did one liver and onions cooking that I wanted to do live, and ended up way too dark, and the angle, you couldn't see into the pan, and wasn't happy with that at all. So I ended up just sitting and talking for the hour that we were live on the boat. So I'm going to see if we can figure out how to make that work better this year. It's possible. Maybe what I'll do is move the cooking operation to there's a big table in the middle of the cockpit of the salon that I can get the lights and camera behind, and it has enough room to spread out from a cooking point of view. So that might be the way to deal with that. So anyway, Eclectic, if you're still here, thank you for coming by. I will spend time looking at your stuff tomorrow, and I'm going to put all this aside and basically we'll get this where I've misplaced this thing already. Get this recipe that we worked on together ready for posting. It'll probably be Friday at the rate that we're going. And we'll see what else our next thing is. So, I mean, last year the boat lives really weren't cooking lives. They were more just sitting in the boat, waiting for the swans to come in. Hopefully there'll be some more swans this year, and waiting for the birds and the ducks to come by. Do some barbecuing for something to eat and to share with everybody else. And yeah, let's see if I can find where I left that hopefully it's going to be a good year. Hopefully it's going to be a good year. Hopefully we get enough nice weather where it's not too windy, but windy enough to be interesting, and not too windy. So windy that it's a challenge to get around. I'm going to try to do some lives on the water. Upgraded my phone plan, so I've got enough minutes and megabytes to make that work. So that'll be the summer. That'll be the summer. So thank you guys. I will say ahoy and aloha, and push the little button. Am I sure? I'm sure.